always had this burning desire to be the best, and in mountain biking it's a sport that I love, and just to represent New Zealand and wear the silver fern is really special. So I've always really wanted to get to the Olympics and get to the Commonwealth Games and represent New Zealand, and obviously it's a big journey and there's so much that goes into it over many years. So I'm really happy with how things are, where they're at the moment, and the support I have as well with Kyle has just made all of this possible really, and also all the sponsors of course as well. New Zealand, Wellington, New Zealand will always be home. That's where I grew up and found mountain biking, and that's where my parents and family are still from, so it's definitely home. But I have an Australian home also, and that's here in Wollongong, just south of Sydney. So the last 2.5 years have been kind of more living here and enjoying the Australian weather and the Australian scene. We're quite close to each other, so a lot of the Kiwis travel to Australia to compete in the Australian series, and then the Aussies, it's easy to travel back to New Zealand as well. We kind of spread our time between New Zealand and Australia, and then take off in April to Europe until October, so a lot of time on the road, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, so I'd had some really good result on the mountain bike previously. I won a World Cup in Mont Saint Anne in 2012. The mountain bike is kind of like a little bit of a family. It's a small kind of circuit and you get to know everyone, and coming from Australia and New Zealand, you kind of have two different sets of family, Northern Hemisphere and a Southern Hemisphere. So I think I really miss the people over there, and the style of racing. Being in the road is more, you jump in a car, drive for 12 hours, do a race, jump in the car that night, drive back to Spain. It was amazing. Like, we got to see a lot of Europe on the road, and then the mountain bike is just, the style of racing is quite different, being an hour and a half full gas and you're all on your own to kind of be responsible for, and I really like that aspect as well. If you prepare well and you're fit and strong, then you're going to get a good result. So there's a big goal in mind of the Olympic and the Commonwealth Games, but then there's also so many goals along the way that kind of keep you on track and keep you motivated. Doing all the World Cups and doing all the Australian rounds and the National Series and the Oceania National Champ. And also the non-cross country races as well, like some of the stage races like Cape to Cape or the marathons. Karapoti we did earlier in the year. These events just remind you how much you love mountain biking and why you do it, and I think that's really important to have as well along the way, because overseas in Europe the cross country scene is very intense and it can be overwhelming at times, so to keep the balance of that cycling and mountain biking is really fun. We always try and schedule the year out and the goals out, but making sure that it's always fun. It's hard, you do the hard work, but it's got that balance as well. Mountain biking is a very individual sport. When you're out there on the racetrack, you're all alone in terms of race strategy and competing, but so much more work goes on behind the scenes, and that's where I'm really lucky to have Kyle along the journey with me. He does all the bike mechanics, he does a lot of the logistics planning and how we're going to get to where and where we're going to stay, and he does the pre-race meal, he makes a fantastic risotto the night before, and just a lot of these things that make the journey a lot more enjoyable, as well as he's my coach as well, so we do a lot of training together, planning what we're going to do throughout the year, and being able to adapt is so valuable because he's there as well, so he knows what's happening along the way, if we need to change something, or yeah, even where we're going to go. He's always thinking 10 steps ahead. He does carry the bags. All 6 of them around the airport at one time. As a kid, I guess most athletes want to be, well, most kids want to be Olympians when you watch it as on the TV, and the Olympics has been a huge target, and it is the target as well. 2020 Tokyo, moving backwards closer to now. Commonwealth Games was the first target. I can visualise what I want down the track, and I know what I want to achieve, but Cole can think more on how that's going to happen along the way, which makes it work so well. We're learning a lot as we go. Like, we've learnt the last couple of years how we operate as a team, how we work together, how we practice the track, what I need in terms of physical preparation and mental preparation leading into a race, how much time on the bike and what intensity and things like that. We've kind of refined as we're going, and then because he's with me all the time, we can really maximise what we're trying to achieve in the sport, which is great. Everyone's stoked to ride a bike. Yes. Any day you can ride a bike is a good day, so don't forget that.